top 5 Clemson position coaches right now. Well, I guess I should put for 2022. I always forget to add that part in there. So top 5 Clemson position coaches for 2022. So let's go look at some photos here. From left to right, Houston, just in case you don't know these names and these faces, I'm going to introduce them to you, okay? You've got the head coach, Dabo Swinney. Now, he, for all purposes, is not included in this, okay? He's no longer a position coach, all right? He cannot be included. So you cannot say Dabo Swinney, all right, Houston? We're clear on that rule?
I wasn't going to do it anyway.
All right, so then you got Mike Reed. He's the cornerbacks coach, special teams coordinator, and assistant head coach. So he's cornerbacks coach. He's there. Mickey Kahn, co-defensive coordinators and safeties. So he's an option. Nick Eason, now he just started, but I'm going to throw him out there as well. He's fair game, assistant coach, defensive run game coordinator, and defensive tackles coach. Wes Goodwin, he's a defensive coordinator and linebackers coach, by the way. So he's in there. Kyle Richardson, tight ends, passing game coordinator. Brandon Streeter, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks. And then Tyler Gresham, assistant coach, recruiting coordinator, wide receivers. And then the final 3, another new guy, Thomas Austin, offensive line coach. Lemansky Hall, or Coach Ski, as they say, defensive ends. And then CJ Spiller, running backs coach, legendary Hall of Fame, college football Hall of Fame player, CJ Spiller, there as well. So that's the players that's the coaches we have to choose from. Get in the chat. Let me know what you think. Top 5 Clemson position coaches right now. Now, this includes, Houston, I don't know, we didn't really make any ground rules on this, but that includes recruiting results and development results. Is that okay?
That works for me.
All right. So I'm going to give you my 5, 4, and 3. All right.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go 1 to 1, 2 and 1. All right. So 5 for me. Well, let me do this. Honorable mention. I know he's a new. Wait, what? Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at
honorable mentions, man? Come on.
I can do an honorable mention. What are you talking about? I can't do an honorable mention.
Boo. Oh my gosh.
I can do an honorable mention. Okay. All right. I'm doing an honorable mention. I'm going to say Thomas Austin. You know, he's had a great recruiting class. We have no idea what he's going to do as a coach because this is his first year. But I'm going to say his first year, man, what a great start to the offensive line recruiting. So I'm going to give him honorable mention. All right. And then my 5, 4, and 3, I got Mickey Kahn, safeties coach, number 5. Nick Eason, defensive tackles coach, number 4, mainly because of his recruiting. And Lemansky Hall, Coach Ski, defensive ends coach, because really his recruiting and his development. I mean, he's got a ton of success with monster defensive ends. So I got 3 defensive coaches in my 5, 4, and 3, and then my honorable mention, Thomas Austin. All right, Houston, give me yours.
Well, since there's no rules, and we can just do whatever.
I mean, there is literally no rules.
Right. There's no rules here. So my honorable mention is Wes Goodwin, because we've at least seen him coach a game, called a great game. They only allowed 13 points.
Wes Goodwin.
He's been a great recruiter at linebackers. So far, the 2 that he's hauled in are spectacular. So, A+ start. A+ start. Number 5, I'm just going to say both defensive line coaches, because that way you can encompass development and recruiting. They've both, Lemansky Hall and Nick Eason, have recruited really well. Lemansky Hall has developed really well. And I think Nick Eason is going to fit like a glove for the culture that Clemson has. So I anticipate great things. Number 4, I would put Thomas Austin. Met Thomas Austin, know Thomas Austin, great guy. Knew this was going to be a great fit for him. So far, he's absolute aces as a recruiter. He's knocked it out of the park. There was a lot of angst and consternation about, oh, is he not going to do it? And he proceeded to just burn those message board haters to the ground, and I couldn't be more happy for him. I'd say number 3, I'm going to say Brandon Streeter, simply because it's an important year he's had the process of developing Deshaun and Trevor, and if he's able to turn this year around, regardless of whether it's DJ or Cade coming in and setting the world ablaze, it's a big year for him. And I think this would be something that could get him really high on this list if they have a good year. So I would say that was number 3. Number 2.
Whoa. All right. So recap your 5, 4, and 3.
5, 4, 3, defensive line, Thomas Austin, and Brandon Streeter.
All right. So again, if you're looking at that picture, Kyle Richardson has a beard now, so it kind of throws me off when I'm looking at this picture. They got to update this. Come on, ClemsonTigers.com. We got to update this picture. All right, so let's go round robin here. Brandon Streeter for me is my number 2. I know you just mentioned him. Man, he's had good success with quarterbacks. He's had great success with quarterback recruiting. He's earned his position as an offensive coordinator now. So I like. There's not a ton to like about Brandon Streeter, not a ton to hate, and I look forward to seeing what he can do now. He's the man as the offensive coordinator, with Kyle Richardson helping him out in the passing game as well. But I think Brandon Streeter has more than proved that he's one of the better coaches on the staff from recruiting and development wise.
Yeah, I'm going to say number 2 is CJ Spiller. And that's going to shock some people, and I don't care. The reason why these my number 2 is developmental wise. Out of how horrendous the offense was last year, there was one unit on the field that week after week they were consistent. That was the running backs. They worked hard, and that might be partly because you got 3 workhorses in there that are absolute studs that really picked up the steam when a couple of the other guys went to the transfer portal. But part of that too is coaching as well, being able to develop those guys, and that shouldn't be unnoticed. They had the best unit on the field on offense, and that might not be saying a lot, but that also saved Clemson in several games last year. And so that shouldn't go unnoticed. And I also think that he's going to land a great running back. I think people that are giving him unjust scrutiny right now are going to be, once again, like what Thomas Austin has done to the message board haters. CJ Spiller will also burn them to the ground eventually too. It's just a matter of time.
I think that every coach on this staff, whether we can pick them or not, there's more than 5, so we can't pick everybody.
Yeah.
But I think everybody has their strengths and that has something great to bring to the table. CJ Spiller definitely being one of those guys. I mean, you cannot assume that that the running backs there just figured it out on their own.
Right.
I mean, that would be ridiculous. So he's definitely playing a role. Now, I'll say this. Some people may moan and groan and gnashing their teeth, right, when you say this, but wait till the end of this year, and Clemson has one of the best running attacks in the nation. I think a lot of people are going to take a step back and say, CJ Spiller is pretty good. And we'll talk more about that too. But all right, so for me, my number 1 is kind of Dabo Swinney's right-hand man. Got a little bit of an extra bonus this season because of some coaching attrition. But he's the guy right there next to Dabo Swinney. And I put him as the assist. He's the assistant head coach, special teams coordinator, cornerbacks coach, great developer, multiple guys in the NFL, first round, second round, third round, fourth round, guys that are dominating on Sundays, continuing to recruit at a high level. And that for me is Mike Reed, the cornerbacks coach. Mike Reed, to me, is the best coach on the staff right now for 2022. Houston, who you got?
I would agree. Mike Reed is my number 1. I am of the belief that, if Clemson has a great year this year, it would not surprise me at all if Mike Reed gets picked up by somebody to be a defensive.
Whoa. Houston, you are not allowed to talk about that at all.
I'm just saying.
Mike Reed forever.
Just go ahead and be prepared, because like everyone's been saying, it's just a matter of time. He's not going anywhere to be a cornerbacks coach. He's going to go somewhere to be a defensive coordinator, and he's been great.
He's my heart.
He's been great. He's recruited well. He's developed some of the best secondaries in the country. And look, if he does choose to go somewhere to be a defensive coordinator, he absolutely deserves that shot. No power, no harm, no foul. I think everybody would be happy about that. I mean,
let's get in the chat, see what everybody has to say. And Clemson Tiger 300 over on YouTube says Mike Reed is the best assistant coach on the staff. Timothy gets in, says Mike Reed 1, Coach Ski 2, Nick Eason 3, Streeter 4, CJ 5. Tyson says would love to see more jet sweep motion. Well, let's Dean Wilson says Wes Goodwin, Mickey Kahn, which we didn't say Mickey Kahn, but Mickey Kahn's got a stud group of safeties back there.
Yeah, that should not go unnoted.
Thomas Austin, Brandon Streeter, CJ Spiller. Tyson says got good clay to work with. Mm-hmm. Jared says surprised we still have Mike Reed. I like Goodwin, but Reed deserved defensive coordinator job. But 5 Kahn, 4 Hall, 3 Eason, 2 Goodwin, and 1 Reed. Now I'll say this: I think maybe, to be honest with you, he made Mike Reed the assistant head coach. I think there was a lot of candid discussions about what Mike Reed wanted to be. I don't know if he wanted to be a defensive coordinator or not. I think he could have been, just as easily as anybody else. But maybe Dabo said, hey, I'll groom you to be a head coach. I mean, Dabo Swinney was never an offensive coordinator at Clemson.
No.
Now, some people like to, gripe about how many plays that he did call. Apparently, all the bad calls, Houston, if you weren't aware, were called by Dabo Swinney.
Oh, yeah. No.
But Dabo might have said, hey, Mike, you don't really need to be a coordinator. I wasn't a coordinator. I can groom you to be the next greatest head coach if that's what you want to be. And Mike might be just as fine doing that.
I mean,
and he probably has a lot of decision-making ability as the assistant head coach.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you can get a Power 5 job as long as you're successful. And look at Sam Pittman at Arkansas. He was a successful offensive line coach wherever he went, and he parlayed that into being a head coach. Even Shane Beamer, and that's not a slight at him. He was successfully known as I believe he was he's a tight ends coach, but he coached a variety of things and special teams. So he was a known assistant, and then he ended up coming back to South Carolina. Absolutely, I think Mike Reed could be that, depending on the fit. It may not be like him taking like LSU or something like that, but I definitely could see a Power 5 school reaching out to him to be a head coach if that were the case.
And Casey Cregan gets in, says 1 Reed, 2 Eason, 3 Richardson, 4 Austin, 5 Hall. Now Richardson. What are your thoughts on naming Richardson in the top 5 right now?
I mean, I think he's definitely worth an honorable mention off of recruiting. I think he'll get there. This is just one of those. It's an odd position to be in because you're a tight ends coach, so you're not necessarily featured as much. You're a passing game coordinator, so you're not going to get the proper credit that you're going to get. Let's not forget here. Joe Brady wasn't necessarily the OC at LSU. He's the passing game coordinator. Well, hey, look, Kyle Richardson's in the same spot. Maybe DJ will have his, Joe Burrow-esque year, and it's simply because Kyle Richardson did some tweaks here. But we won't understand. We won't see that. We won't know until later on with Kyle Richardson. I think it's just a little bit of the unknown with him. But if they have a great year this year, I'll absolutely put him high. He's recruiting really well.
Dylan gets in on Facebook. Coach Hall, Eason, Austin, Goodwin, and Reed. Lots of defensive guys on that top list. Thomas on Facebook says he has his work cut out for him this year, talking about Coach Reed. You think it's going to be a little bit harder for him? I mean, obviously the loss of Andrew Booth Jr., but he has lost high-profile cornerbacks in the past.
I mean, if you read what's coming in, there's talk that Toriano Pride might be able to see the field And I mean, look, we've seen him live. If you'd have told me that Toriano Pride was a freshman, I wouldn't have believed you if I didn't know that already. He's built like a man. Toriano Pride is a man. And apparently Jaden Lucas has made strides too. So you got three. I guess Sherrod Koval would be a safety, so that's under Mickey Kahn. But you got two absolute dogs at corner, and then you got some more corners coming in that are going to be very good as well. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good next year. And I mean, early indications are like if they're really, really in a pinch, Andrew Makuba could play corner as well. So you're going to be okay. I feel like they're going to be all right.